deeply grateful to be here today. I am grateful to my colleague and my teacher, Rabbi Briskin, and I am grateful to see your faces, even if they are half obscured by masks. I am sure it must have been the pandemic that made it happen. After all the anxiety, confusion, loss of life, it made me, and so many of us, focus on what we've been missing, what we love about our lives, what makes them precious to us. And so one evening while sitting outside in the summer warmth, with wine and food and good friends, I posed the following question. If you could go back to any one day in your life and live it again, what would you go back to? For me, it was easy to think of more than one. I would go back, I said, to that time when I was 4 or 5 years old in Jackson's Point, what we in Ontario referred to as cottage country. We had spent the summer on one block of little bungalows with several families, all known to my family, swimming and fishing and going to the beach. One evening at the end of the summer, the families put together what must have been a kind of farewell campfire. Everyone was there. All the kids I had played with all summer. There was a giant bonfire over which we roasted hot dogs and marshmallows. And we sang all night long, or at least it seemed that way to me. It was probably 9 o'clock, until our parents had to drag us home to sleep. That for me was sheer perfection, absolute magic. If I could, I'd go back there in a minute. And then there was the day I was a student at York University in the suburbs of Toronto. I had just gone out on my first date, a blind date, with a really cute girl named Susan Goldman. In fact, we actually went out twice on that first dating weekend, both Friday and Saturday nights, never having dated before, don't ask. Anyway, it was just a few days later, and she let me know she was coming up from downtown, from the University of Toronto, which she attended, to see a screening of the movie, The Heart is a Lonely Hunter, because a friend of hers had invited her to join him. Anyway, we soon found each other and sat next to each other, and between me and her friend she sat, and as the movie began, she reached out to hold my hand. And I thought, incredulously, I think this girl likes me. That she had in fact come up to my school specifically to see me and not her friend. And if I could, I'd go back there in a minute. And then there was the time I was visiting my good friend Craig in Miami. It was a beautiful, warm, sunny day in Coconut Grove in the middle of the winter. It felt like the sunshine was a blessing created by God, especially for us. We were just walking around, enjoying the food, the shops, the conversation, when off in the distance we heard something that sounded like familiar music. So we followed the sounds, and as we got closer, we realized there was a stage set up in the park, and on it was the band Blood, Sweat, and Tears, a favorite of both of ours. And so we joined the throng and moved as close to the stage as we could, and we let the music roll over us. We were in heaven. And if I could, I'd go back there in a minute. As I shared these memories with my dear friends that lovely summer evening, I wondered what were the common threads in all these magical moments. What were the common elements that made them stand out for me and draw me back with such fondness all these years later? And it was clear. In each one there was music and sunshine and food and drink, and above all, a real, deep, intimate connection with others who really mattered to me. No wonder these memories made me smile and wish I could go back to them. They gathered together all the essential ingredients in a sweet and happy life and drew me back to them with a wistful joy. Joy because the memories are so good, but wistful because they're gone. And so much has changed in the intervening years, and they can, by definition, never come back again. I believe that is what Yizkor is all about. It is about going back to the precious memories, to times we shared with special people in our lives, to relive those moments in our minds, in our hearts, and to savor their sweetness. But in that joy of remembering, there is also pain and loss and sadness at what was and can never be again. We wish we could go back and relive those precious days with the ones we love but who are gone now, but we know that they can never live again. That is why we are caught this afternoon in a sea of conflicting emotions. It is sweet and painful all at the same time. We are whipsawed between blessing and grief. And that is so difficult, isn't it? But that is what we must do this afternoon. As painful as remembering can be, we have to immerse ourselves in these memories because they remind us of what makes our life good, what makes them meaningful, what makes them worth living, and how blessed we have been by the love of the special people in our lives. So this afternoon, I invite you to dabble a little in my perfect days. Think about your memories of the ones you've lost. Think about what made those days so perfect that you wish you could go back in time and relive them again. I'll bet there's good food and drink. Maybe there's music. Maybe there's sunshine. But I'm sure what makes them really worth savoring is the person you were together with and the singular connection that you had with them. Hold them close this afternoon. Let your mind and your heart go back in time, conjure up those precious memories, and even though they also bring the pain of loss, don't try to escape them. Savor them. Let them fill you with joy and love. And one more thing. Although our beloved dead are gone, we are not yet. We are still here, but we don't have forever. That is the message of this sacred day. So let's ask ourselves what we are doing right now with the people that we love. What are we doing to make perfect days with them? Days they will remember and bless us for forever. My friends, if we can resolve to do that right now, we will leave a bounty of precious memories for our friends, our family, for the world, and all the ones we hold dear. And that will be nothing short of perfect. Amen.